up and sit down.
Hey everybody, this is YGOanimeDecksNDuels. I'm Shane.
And I'm Mac.
And we have for you Bastion Misawa's character deck profile. This is of every card he used throughout the show, so we'll get this started. First up, we have the Mathematician. For those of you who don't know, you normal summon him, you can send one level 4 lower monster from your deck to your graveyard. This is perfect with your Carbodon. And then, of course, we'll get to him later. Next, and then when he's sent to the graveyard by battle, you can draw one card. Next, we have Vorse Raider. It's kind of a Kaiba card. For whatever reason, Bastion had put this in his deck. And I believe this is the first card you see him play. And he's using it to get into Duelist Academy or whatever. Next we have the Trojan Horse. And these are kind of just the little randoms here. The two that kind of don't really fit with the deck for some reason, but they're there. Trojan Horse is pretty cool, though. If you tribute summon an Earth monster, you can treat this as 2 tribute monsters. And he's 1600 attack, so not bad. Now we've got our 2 element cards. We've got Element Dragon and Element Magician. They've got pretty cool effects. Basically, if there's a fire type, you can increase the attack of Element Dragon by 500 for wind type. If this card is destroyed, your opponent's monster as a result opponent's monster as a result of battle, it can attack once again in a row. Oh no, my bad. If this card destroyed your opponent's monster, I read that wrong. A little tired. Now we have Element Magician. Same thing once again. If there's a water type on the field or a wind type, you can activate one of the 2 effects. Water, control of this card cannot be switched. Wind, if this card destroyed your opponent's monster as a result of battle, it can attack once again in a row. Both have 1500 attack. I like Element Dragon a little more than Element Magician. Next, we have Litmus Doom Swordsman. In this deck, there are cards that were never made, so we made them. Litmus Doom Swordsman is pretty cool as a ritual card. This card is not destroyed as a result of battle and is unaffected by the effects of trap cards. As long as there is a face-up trap card on the field, the attack and defense of this card become 3000. And then, of course, Litmus Doom Ritual you need in order to summon him, plus stars equal level 8 or more, field or your hand. Now you have the Magnet Warriors, which we also had made. You've got Magnet Warrior E+, Magnet Warrior, I don't even know what that symbol is, like a horseshoe, upside down U minus. I'm not sure what it is. I'm sure you guys know. Tell me in the comments. I'd appreciate it. Then we've got Magnet Warrior E+. So we've got the 3 Magnet Warriors there. These are all fake because they were never made. And then for those 3 monsters, you have Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum Plus. This card's pretty cool. Can only be summoned by sending 1+ monster and 1- monster from your hand or your side of the field to the graveyard. When this card attacks, you can select 1 face-up plus monster or minus monster on the field to have this card gain attack equal to half that monster's attack until the end phase. If your opponent controls a plus monster and or a minus monster, this card must attack that monster if able. So 2700 attack, pretty much a beater. Then we have my favorite card in this deck. It's pretty cool. Plasma Warrior Etom. This guy's a little ghost rare. We had him made. 3000 attack, 2500 defense. He's special summoned by tributing a level 7 or higher monster. And can't be summoned other ways. Once per turn, you can half his attack during your main phase 1 and then attack your opponent directly. And during the end phase, his attack goes back to normal.
What's really cool about this guy, though, guys, to give Shane a little bit of a break on his breath there. He's losing breath. I like the fact that he has 3000 attack. I mean, a lot of these characters in GX, they didn't have a monster that was just a solid monster for 3000 attack, besides maybe Chaz's Armored Dragon level 7. And, of course, Zane had Cyber and Dragon with 4000, which he got out all the time. But it's really cool to see Bastion with a 3000 attack monster because that kind of reminds me of, like, the Blue Eyes era with Yugi and all them. So I always go back to that because that's my favorite time.
He sounds a little difficult to summon, but in all reality, with the Carbodons and all that in this deck, which I'm going to be getting into here in a second, makes him pretty easy to summon, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. Next, we have Barrel Dragon.
Awesome card.
Awesome card. Yeah, not only is he sick looking, but his effect is pretty neat. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, toss a coin 3 times. If 2 of the results are heads, you destroy that card. Now, if only this card could be worded that way in the effect. It's difficult to read in the effect it is, but that's what it is. All right, so next we have Carbodon. We're running 2 of those. This is where your Mathematician comes in handy. Summon him, then you're allowed to put 1 level 4 or lower monster from your deck into your graveyard. I always pick Carbodon, and then I immediately banish him to summon this next guy. Hyozanryu.
Yep.
I always struggle to say it. I'm getting better at it, though.
You know, Carbon leads into Diamond.
Yeah, and you summon him in defense position. But if you've got, Magnet Warrior Etom, immediately, that turn, whenever you did that, you can tribute this card to special summon him. And so a Plasma Warrior Etom. I know Magnet Warrior didn't sound right. It's like, still getting used to these cards. Remember, those cards were never made, so didn't really think about those until we were building this deck. Alright, so next we're getting into our Hydrogeddons.
We run 3
We
of
got
them.
3 of those. Pretty cool effect. You destroy a card by battle. You can special summon another one of these from your deck.
I love the Hydrogeddons. They're probably one of my favorite monsters, and I think they're the very first monster Bastion used against Jaden. So that's pretty cool to see them. I like running 3 of them, definitely.
All right. Then we have our Oxygeddon, and we are running 3 of those as well. And then when this card is destroyed by a Pyro-type monster, your opponent loses 800 points. You get, actually, inflict 800 points to both you and your opponent.
Which 1800 is kind of a beater in these character duels. 1800 is actually a really solid attack, so it helps out quite a bit.
All right, and of course, those are used to summon Water Dragon along with Bonding H2O, which we are running 2 of. And Water Dragon is pretty cool. 2800 attack and 2600 defense. Sorry, ours is not English. But also when he is, let's see, what is it? When he's destroyed by battle, you summon 2 Hydrogeddons and the 1 Oxygeddon, which you needed to summon him.
Yeah, we're debating right now at this point of getting another Water Dragon and running 2 of them because we have 2 Bonding H2Os and that's what Bastion ran. But we're at 40 cards right now, so I think the deck number is pretty in. Plus, the deck is really good to this point.
All right, so now we're going to get into our spell cards. We have Magnet Conductor Plus. You add 1 plus monster from your graveyard to your hand. Comes in handy when one's destroyed, and you summon it the next turn. Then we have Power Off. Send 1 face-up plus monster, this is where your Conductor Linear Magnum Plus comes in handy. You send him to the graveyard to special summon. To the graveyard to special summon the monsters that were used to summon him. So you get your 1 plus monsters back. It's really handy.
And it's nice as a quick activate.
Yeah, it's a quick activate. So if Conduction Linear Magnum Plus is selected as the target, you can just do that and undo them, and then you've got 2 little saves. Because if something's attacking him, you're not the strongest monster on the field, so you better figure something out. Then we have our Monster Reborn of the deck. Got a little heavier effect on him. This is another card we had made. Same with those last 2. Living Fossil. So select 1 monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and equip this card to it. It loses 1,000 attack, and its effects are negated. When this card is destroyed, destroy the equipped monster. So it's kind of a sad effect, but
I like the card. I think it looks cool.
It's real good.
The dinosaur and the tux.
If you've got it's awesome. I used it in our duel to bring back Hyozanryu, just so I could immediately summon, I'm Plasma Warrior Etom. I'm getting better at knowing his name. So that was pretty sick. That was when I did that was cool. Then we have Double Spell. The anime effect is what we're going to use on this. And that's where, see, I'm a little fuzzy on it.
Okay, what happened when we seen Double Spell get used, Yugi used it against Kaiba. I don't remember how Bastion used this card exactly, but I remember how Yugi used the card. Kaiba activated Polymerization Monster Reborn in 1 turn. Yugi activated Double Spell, and he could use 2 spell cards that Kaiba used the previous turn, so he was able to use Monster Reborn and Polymerization himself to bring back Bluster Blader to fuse into Dark Paladin. I don't know how Bastion used it. We'll have to look that up to see how we can use the effect.
All right. Then we have our POG, or POG, or Pot of Greed. So it's our draw power.
Pretty simple.
All right. Then we have a Winged Beat of a Giant Dragon. You saw me use that one too, I believe, in that duel. May have been another one. We took we take multiple attempts. But I used it. I can't remember exactly how I did it, but I mean I did. I returned him from the field to my hand, and then I destroyed all magic and trap cards. That's right. I used it on Clock Tower.
Yeah.
So that was pretty
before
cool.
I got the 2 clock counters up.
Yeah,
Or 4 clock counters.
Then we have our MST, Mystical Space Typhoon. You know what that does. So we're leading into our traps now. We have a Fate card again, 100,000 Gauss. Activate only while you control a face-up plus monster and a minus monster. Change one of your opponent's monsters' face-up defense position to attack position, and it loses 800 attack.
What's really cool about this card is, if you guys can notice, it's a tank with a magnet on there. That's fucking hilarious. I love the shit out of that card.
All right. And then we have Magnet Force Plus. This is a cool trap card. Equip only to a monster your opponent controls. It cannot declare attacks targeting a plus monster. If you control a minus monster, the equipped monster must attack it if able. So it kind of forces your monster to attack something else. Then we have Magnet Force Minus. Equip this card to a monster. The equipped monster is treated as a minus monster. And this comes in handy for Power Off, I believe it was. You can see the Power Off as a quick activate, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And then you can activate this and then activate Power Off, and you kind of get that cool little effect.
And what's also nice about this is a continuous card, so it stays on your side of the field, so that can come in handy too sometimes.
Yeah, and I had this set up in that duel against Astro Phoenix, where I was going to do this on Water Dragon, and then that way I could get the 2 Hydrogeddons and the Oxygeddon back on the field. Then we have Last Magnet.
Sweet card.
Activate only when an opponent's monster destroys a monster you control by battle. Equip this card to that monster. It loses 800 attack.
If you guys remember in the anime, Bastion used this on Elemental Hero Blade Edge, and it pretty much put a weight on Blade Edge and it lowered his attack down. It was hilarious looking in the anime. I don't know. Something about the big fat gold Blade Edge trying to hold up this big magnet. It was just funny as shit.
Yeah, and that was one of our fake cards again. And then we have another fake card, a little faded. Activate only when an opponent's monster declares an attack while you control 3 or more monsters in the battle phase. Yeah, I forgot to say what that was. It's Amorphous Barrier, I believe. So.
If you guys can't see that. Pretty cool card. Really good card, actually.
Then we have Furan Kazan. I've had this card for years, and he's had it, and we never really saw a reason for it. And then we made the Bastion deck, and
so we
now
decided
we
to
got
toss it in there.
It's a little difficult to activate, but the options for it are sick if you can activate.
It's kind of a situational card that you probably won't ever use, but if you actually get it off, it'll be sweet.
Yeah, so if you have a Wind, Water, Fire, and Earth type, you can activate one of the 4 effects. There's like Destroy all magic and spell cards. There's draw cards. There's inflict life points in there.
Yeah.
It's something like
Destroy all monsters on your opponent's side of the field. Destroy all spell and trap cards on your opponent's side of the field. Randomly discard 2 cards from your opponent's hand, or draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
So it's got some pretty good effects.
Yeah. Then we've got Magic Cylinder. Y'all know what Magic Cylinder does, so I'm not going to go into detail.
Awesome card.
Then we have Cursed Seal of the Forbidden Spell, and it does pretty much what it's talking about. Discard 1 spell card from your hand, negate the activation and the effect of a spell card, and destroy it. Your opponent cannot activate spell cards of the same name for the rest of the duel.
If you guys remember, Bastion used this against Jaden also, and almost lost Jaden the duel because Jaden couldn't use polymerization. And so whenever he couldn't use polymerization, that was Jaden's main thing to do. So that was when we got the release of Blade Edge, which was sweet to see. Bastion, he had some really cool cards. I wish Konami would print some of the cards that we had made, but they haven't at this point. But if they ever do, then it'll be really sweet, to see. But also what I like about this is that this is a quick activate. It's pretty sweet, to have it go off. I like it. All
right, so guys, once again, this was Bastion Misawa's deck. And I'm just throwing these out there again because these are cool, because they didn't make these. Oh, we did. So hope you guys like this. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and, thanks.
Peace.